Ladies and gentlemen, this evening I want to talk to you about an important topic for all of us. It's important for our society and it's important for our future. I want to talk to you about education. Why do I want to talk about education? What does it mean to you and me? I want to give you a quote by the great Nelson Mandela. He said, "The weapon of education is the most powerful thing to change the world." The most powerful thing to change the world. And his story is compelling. Here was a man who was educated as a solicitor. He rose up from the dark depths of prison in society to destroy an evil that was ruling over him. That's how powerful education can be when it's used by the right leaders in the right way to bring about the right changes. But that's not what I'm going to talk to you about today. I'm going to talk to you about something slightly different. I'm going to talk to you about a problem we have in our education system, and that problem is inequality. I've done some research into this topic, and I want to share 3 points with you. Firstly, some statistics about inequality. Secondly, I want to share the impact it's having in our society. And thirdly, it's not going to be all doom and gloom. I want to talk about some of the solutions. So what research has been carried out? The Sutton Trust is an organisation in this country, and they've looked at some statistics recently. What they looked at was the Queen's Birthdays Honours List in 2011, and they looked at all the people on that list, and there was 8,000 people there, and they looked at the secondary education of those people. And what they found was just 10 schools dominate amongst all those 8,000 people. Now you might be thinking, 10 schools, what's the big deal? Is it really a problem? But let me just put that into perspective for you. Across the whole country there are 4,000 schools, teaching 4 million students. Now just picture the scene. Children across the country are waking up early in the morning. They're carrying their heavy bags to school. They're writing down their lessons meticulously. Late at night, they're reading their notes. Can you imagine telling them that they're not going to make it on the Queen's Birthdays list because they're at the wrong school? Or because they haven't had the right chance? How would that make you feel? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you about the impact this is having on our society. Sir Peter Lample, he's the chair of the Sutton Trust, and he said it's good to see that there's certain educational institutions that are dominating in society. But he said opportunity must be on the basis of capability alone. He said it must be on the basis of capability alone, not on the basis of how rich your parents are, not on the basis of where you came from or where you were born. It must be on capability here, not on your capability here. So what can we actually do about the situation? Now, a story that's close to my heart is that of my oldest son. When the time came to choose his primary education, we were faced with a dilemma. Quarter of a mile away was a school that was one of the best in the borough. And another quarter of a mile away, we had a school which was actually one of the worst. So after much deliberation, after much suspense, we were fortunate enough to hear that my oldest son got into the good school. Even better for the whole community was that after a couple of years they announced those two schools would be merging into a single academy. So what that means is the best practices from the good school, the leadership, the good planning, the good management would all be going over to the not so good school. And hopefully nothing will be coming back. So I just want to summarize and say I'm sure you agree with me that it's good that we have such dominating institutions that are nurturing our young people, that are helping to bring up the talent in this country. But I'm sure you'll also agree with me that the education system must be fair and everybody must have a chance. I know it sounds really difficult, but I want to leave you with a quote from the great Aristotle. He said, "The roots of education are bitter, but the fruits are sweet." Thank you.